Yo, what's good, people? We back. Had to come through, man. Had to come through because, in this series right here, the Strange Fruit series, I introduced it earlier. Introduced the names that we're going to be talking about. William James Howard, Harry T. Moore. Those are the names that's going to be coming up in this one. I want to go through the Willie James Howard lynching. The Willie James Howard lynching is, one that it's like typical for them. You make it seem like it's about a white girl. The same thing with Emmett Till. The same thing with Black Wall Street. Make it seem like as if they made it seem as if they're protecting one of theirs. Who happens to be a young white girl. And protecting a young white girl from a black man, because he was 15, so they looked at a 15-year-old as if he's a grown man. Sort of similar like today. So, hearing all this talk about reparation claims, it's just weird to me, man. It's just really weird because there's a whole history, like a hidden history of black people who got killed in America, and there was never any punishment handed out for, like, killing with impunity. I mean, not police, just white people were killing black people with impunity. And I just thought that, someday the wrongs will be corrected, right? That's what we thought. So I want to go through this story of Willie James Howard, I should say. Another gruesome story. This happened 11 years before Emmett Till. Just keep that in mind. This happened before Emmett Till. So by the time Emmett Till happened, think about how many happened in between that.
To Honorable Charles E. Bennett, Democratic candidate for Congress, Jacksonville, Florida. Dear sir, the local white people are the ones who lynch, beat, and intimidate us. These same white people control the local governments. Harry T. Moore, Executive Secretary, Progressive Voters League.
He was going to the site of the lynching. He was finding the surviving family members, interviewing them, taking sworn affidavits, writing letters to the governor, accusing white sheriffs of being implicated in the murder, of covering up the murder, and he just kept pushing it.
The trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves, and blood at the root, black bodies swinging.
If you ever saw the movie Tales from the Hood, Strange Fruit, the song by Billie Holiday, that was the song that was playing when they were lynching a black man. So it's almost kind of like a theme song for this action, because it did happen that often.
In the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
By 1930, white mobs or vigilantes and the Klan had lynched 4,000 blacks nationwide. Most of them in the
Those are the ones that were accounted for.
Deep South, many with law enforcement complicity. Florida had
far more than those we have ever had before. For this is the Christmas that must lead to victory.
Christmas, 1943. For most folks, conversation was about the war. But in Live Oak, Florida, a small town just around the bend from where Harry Moore was born, the talk was about something else.
They put him into that river and let him stay there all night long.
To Walter White, Executive Secretary, NAACP. Dear Mr. White, while visiting in Florida over the Christmas holidays, one of the most gruesome cases imaginable was called to my attention. On Sunday, January 2nd, 1944, at about 10 a.m. in Live Oak, Florida, a colored boy aged 15 was bound and thrown into a river to drown by 3 white men, one of whom was the father of a white girl to whom this colored boy had foolishly written a note. Albert C. Robinson, attorney at law.
They buried that boy so fast, I guess to keep from people knowing what happened to him. But it happened Sunday, they buried him Monday.
Cynthia Goff was working her Christmas break at Priest's Five and Dime to make a little spending money. A student at Sewanee High School, she was pretty, popular, the daughter of a former state legislator. One day at work, she received a Christmas card from a fellow employee, a 15-year-old black youth named Willie James Howard. Willie James later learned the card upset her, so he wrote a letter of apology.
Dear friend, I am well and hope you are the same. This is what I said on the Christmas card. From Willie James Howard with love. I know you don't think much of our kind of people. We don't hate you. All we want is to be your friends, but you won't let us. Please don't let anybody see this. I hope I haven't made you mad. I wish this was a northern state. I guess you'll call me Fresh. Sincerely yours. P.S. For Cynthia Goff. I love your name. I love your voice. For sweetheart, you are my choice.
You know, in the days of white dominance, that's what, you know, there are a lot of them, you know, that miss those days of white dominance. Just want to be your friends. Just wanted to be friends. Like, you know, though that day has passed. That day has passed. You know, if these people were indicted and put in jail and actually punished, the reparations claim would not have as much. It still would have a claim, you know, it still would be a claim for it, but it wouldn't be as like just straight up clear. Like, you know, straight up clear that it's the only right. You know what I'm saying? So these lynchings, I'm like, they all seem to follow the same pattern. Put a white girl in the middle of it, a young white girl in the middle of it, either daughter, mother, girlfriend, or whatever, and a black man threatened talk to her because they said Emmett Till whistled at a white girl at a grocery store, like while he was on summer vacation, right? Then they said some white girl was in the elevator with the black man in Black Wall Street, right? So that always seemed to be the main excuse for it. This is the William James Howard story. I'm going through this one right now. We're going through the next episode. I'm gonna do the Harry T. Moore situation, but he's involved in this one also. You hear about it.
Cynthia showed the note to her father, former state legislator Phil Goff. He was outraged. He rounded up 2 of his close friends and drove to Willie James's house. Willie's mother said the men pulled a gun and forced him into the truck. Then they drove to the lumber company where Willie James's father worked and picked him up. From there, they drove to Sewanee Springs.
You know, it was something strange about her walking from one end of the porch to the other one, but she didn't tell us. And so I asked about where was Willie James, and she said they came and got him, and said he would bring him back after a while. She said some white men had come there and got him and said he would bring him back.
The three men bound Willie James's hands and feet while his father watched helplessly. According to Willie's father, Phil Goff held a gun to the boy's head and forced him to jump into the river. Goff and his friends said Willie James defied them, said he wasn't going to take a licking from white people, and slipped from the bank trying to get away. The next day...
Now, think about how egregious this is. They went and kidnapped the boy, you know what I'm saying? They kidnapped the son to lynch him, you know what I'm saying, or to kill him and everything like that. Then they went to go kidnap his father, kidnap him from his job, and then force him to watch what they were about to do to his son. These gruesome stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, these gruesome stories have to be accounted for because none of them went to jail. None of them went to jail. You know what I'm saying? None of them got away with it, basically.
A black undertaker retrieved the body from the Suwannee River. In January 1944, Thurgood Marshall wrote Florida Governor Spencer Holland demanding the three men be punished. Governor Holland wrote Marshall and suggested the evidence be presented to a Live Oak grand jury. But he warned that it would be the word of one black man against three white men. To no one's surprise, the grand jury failed to return an indictment, and the case was largely forgotten, except by Harry Moore. Moore conducted his own investigation. He gathered affidavits from the Howard family. He organized an NAACP chapter in Live Oak, using the Howard lynching as his rallying cry. Moore also appealed to the NAACP leadership for help.
March 25th, 1944. To Mr. Roy Wilkins, NAACP. My dear Mr. Wilkins, I was born and reared in Suwannee County and know something about the racial situation up there. Mrs. Howard was born and reared about 2 miles from my old home. We've known each other since we were children. We are anxious to have a federal investigation of this case. Very sincerely yours, Harry T. Moore, Executive Secretary, Florida NAACP.
But the federal government claimed it lacked jurisdiction. And like so many other lynchings in the Deep South.
Now that's wild right there. The feds say that they didn't have, at that time, they said that they didn't have jurisdiction. So you're not even the feds then. If you don't have jurisdiction, then what do you think we're calling you for? Because you're supposed to have jurisdiction over the places that you don't have jurisdiction in. But, you know, when it came to lynching black men, we can't really touch that one. You know how that goes. You get what I'm saying? So these type of hiccups in justice, have to be accounted for at some point, someday.
This one went unpunished. It became just another morality tale about the proper place of whites and blacks in Southern society. James and Lula Howard, fearful for their lives, left town after the funeral, never to return. Willie James Howard lies in an unmarked grave in Live Oak's East Side Cemetery. 2 years after the lynching, Cynthia Goff graduated from Suwannee High School in Live Oak. Her senior motto, "Do not take life too seriously. You'll not get out of it alive."
Yeah, it sounds like, I bet she started the Gothic movement, and you know what I'm saying, the Gothic genre. I bet she started that also. So that's the Willie James Howard lynching. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of many. You get what I'm saying? We could do this all day. We could do this all day, and we're gonna keep this series going. This is the Strange Fruit series. I'm gonna do Harry T. Moore next, you know, and you can, chime in the comments and everything like that. Whatever other information you have, you can let me know. But we're gonna keep this going. You see the names that were involved. I'm gonna do Harry T. Moore next, man. I'm gonna go and get out of here, man. Salute. We out.